Okay, Galen Kim Davis here talking about Measure B that's on the Sunnyvale March 2020 ballot. In previous episodes, I've talked about what Measure B does and what it doesn't do, and also about how a 7-district system would be recreating the Electoral College in Sunnyvale. But before we go on, this background picture is a picture of Fremont High School, the only public high school in Sunnyvale city limits, whose most notable alumnus is Andrew Fire, who won a Nobel Prize in 2007 for his discoveries on RNA interference. Okay, moving on to Measure B. What happens if it fails? The short and sweet answer is nobody knows. There are a few things that are definite or likely, and nothing else that you can say with any real confidence because there are just too many variables at play. So, things that would definitely happen. First, the city would probably get sued by a collection of Asian American residents within the city for violations of the California Voting Rights Act. I am one of those potential plaintiffs. Once that would happen, and that is a multi-step action, it would be assigned to a judge's docket. My understanding is that it takes I think it's called a complicated case or something like that. So there are only 2 judges that could actually take this. I have no idea how backed up their docket is. But once a lawsuit is filed, the city has to respond, and they have to decide how they're going to respond. And that would be up to the city council. Now, based on what's been said at other city council meetings leading up to this, my personal expectation is that the council would direct city staff to negotiate a settlement. Now, the negotiating parameters that they would dictate to city staff, it is very speculative to say what those would be. But we're talking about the exact same city council that put Measure B on the ballot, that passed with a very large majority. So it is not crazy to say that they very likely would direct the city staff to negotiate a settlement that looked a lot like Measure B. They could very well direct the city to negotiate a settlement that is 7 districts without an at-large mayor. I just don't know. That requires me predicting propositions that would be made and seconds that would be made at city council meetings and how that would shake out. It's a highly fluid, chaotic event with so many variables that I just have no idea. Now, I do want to make a couple of clarifications. The No campaign is saying that the judge will force 7 districts. They haven't explained how that's going to happen, how they're going to force a judge to do that. Santa Clara is not a good example because theirs went to trial. Settlement negotiations don't generate precedent. Trials do. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how all of that works. But it's just highly speculative to say because the judge acted this way in a trial decision, he's going to act this way in a settlement negotiation. What he will accept as a negotiated settlement and what happens at a trial are two completely different things. And this is just how the American legal system works. It's beyond our power to change it. Judges are about the law. They're not about reading the tea leaves from what happens in an election. So I'll leave it at that. If this measure fails, we don't know what's going to happen. Thank you.